Do you miss the music?
Yeah, that's what I live for, music, yeah.
How long has it been since you played?
Quite a while. They let me touch it every once in a while, but they don't want me to play. It's like everybody wants the attention. I don't want the attention. I just like to play music.
They call him Charles Manson, Jim Jones, not the diplomat, the real Jim Jones, Napoleon the Great, Niccolo Machiavelli. They punch a V up before the nigga knew he was ready. They call him Charles Manson, Jim Jones, not the diplomat, the real Jim Jones, Napoleon the Great, Niccolo Machiavelli. They punch a V up before the nigga knew he was ready.
My brain steady maintaining its velocity. The enemy, the police, eternally my philosophy. Is your mind state full of apostrophe? Slavery still exists, they just remove the apostrophe. I'm the real reason Africa contracted AIDS, stallion. The same methods exterminated the ancient Mayans. The exact reason why minorities do most of the time. Why the majority commit 80% of crime. I know a strike a match for each and every fact in line. Go read the almanac, bitch, if you think I'm lying. But what I convey, I know the government gon' slay me. But before they take me, hell, Hitler like the A.B.
They call him Charles Manson, Jim Jones, not the diplomat, the real Jim Jones, Napoleon the Great, Niccolo Machiavelli. They punch a V up before the nigga knew he was ready. They call him Charles Manson, Jim Jones, not the diplomat, the real Jim Jones, Napoleon the Great, Niccolo Machiavelli. They punch a V up before the nigga knew he was ready. My essays, white boys, crips, and blues, Arabs, Asians, long as they do. This is for my essays, white boys, crips, and blues, Arabs, Asians, long as they do. They call him Charles Manson, Jim Jones, not the diplomat, the real Jim Jones, Napoleon the Great, Niccolo Machiavelli. They punch a V up before the nigga knew he was ready. They call him Charles Manson, Jim Jones, not the diplomat, the real Jim Jones, Napoleon the Great, Niccolo Machiavelli. They punch a V up before the nigga knew he was ready.
Why did you do so many things to get yourself thrown in jail? You seemed to like it when you were out, according to what I read.
Well, because I'm stupid. I really am stupid. I'm smart in some things, but other things I'm dumb in, you know. Probably if you notice, people that tell the truth generally act like they're kind of retarded. Mentally retarded people I can communicate with real good. And decent dumb people, man, we talk like crazy, you know. In other words, I'm all right with those. And kids I'm okay with. But when you get grown-ups, then there's a lot of problems. I don't get along too good with grown-ups. And they get me in trouble. People get me in trouble because I don't have the mental capacity to adjust to the outside. And when I get out there, I'm like a little kid. I'm like a little baby. In a lot of respects, you know.
Everything we have to do is to get to the truth has to be sneaky. It seems a shame to sneak to get to the truth, to make the truth such an evil, dirty, old, nasty thing. You gotta sneak to get to the truth. The truth is condemned. The truth is in the gas chamber. The truth has been in your stockyards, your slaughterhouses. The truth has been in your reservations, building your railroads, emptying your garbage. The truth is in your ghettos, in your jails, in your young love, not in your courts or your Congress, where the old sit judgment on the young. What the hell do the old know about the young? They put a picture of old George on the dollar and tell you that he's your father, worship him. Look at the madness that goes on. You can't prove anything that happened yesterday. Now is the only thing that's real. You can try to prove that Columbus sailed on an ocean, but it's not the same ocean. It's a different ocean. It's a different world.
Get Charles Manson, we'll just cover that up. We won't look at the fact that we've had a 9-year-old kid locked up and blaming him for everything we did since 1943, will we? What
is the relationship between Charlie Manson and young people?
I am
none of you young people?
Man, when you're in war, mister. You don't make no change without bloodshed. They don't care. I do.
Right.
But they'll turn that around and they'll say that I don't care, that they do. And then they'll say, we'll go help the misused children.
All right, let me
finish that thought. They say, we go help the misused children. I said, if you're going to help the abused children, what about these penitentiaries across the country? Aren't they abused children too? Or did you forget those? In your world, you can take a slice of a pin and write it on a piece of paper and destroy 200,000 people, and it's okay.
Well, not me.
Because you don't have to see it.
What would you do if you got out of prison?
I'm out of prison. I get out every day. I get out in these guys every day. I get out. I'm everywhere. I didn't even lock everywhere up. I'm everywhere, man. I'm all things. How you gonna lock it up?
How do you feel about blacks?
Blacks are all right.
How do you feel about Jews?
Jews are all right.
How do you feel about women?
Women, okay.
Why do you wear the sign of the American Nazi Party?
That's my Nazi party. That's me.
Do you believe in a God? Sure, that's not you. Well, should we? Under what circumstances would you look into the eye of a camera like that and say, look, I want to take responsibility
for the world that I live in?
No. Okay, for the world you live in.
The world that I live in. I got no choice.
Yeah.
I got peace. But until everybody's got peace, I can't have peace. In other words, I got you. But I can't have you until everybody else gets you. And then when everybody else gets through with it, then I'll get you. I have nothing against no one unless they got something against me. You come up and say hi, I say hi. You say, I like you. I say, well, I like you. You say, well, I don't like you. I say, well, I don't like you. In other words, however you reflect to me is what I'm going to reflect back to you. I don't care what color you are, where you're from, or what you're doing, what race you are. I am me first.
Prison doesn't begin and end at the gate. Prison is in the mind. It's locked in one world that's dead and dying, or it's open to a world that's free and alive.
You want to draw a line and say this is crime and this ain't crime. There's no murder in the holy war, man.
When you resurrect majesty and you get majesty rolling in a bunch of programmed brains, all those programmed brains start going crazy. They start freaking out. They freak out and go crazy. They go insane. In other words, they go so insane that you can't really maintain any sanity around it because there's no pattern in it. They lose the patterns in their minds, and they all go ape shit. They just can't deal with it. You dig? So it's the same thing when you come into a soulful movement that's righteously in the soul, that's not bullshit. That's not all this goody two-shoe up and down for a piece of pussy shit. You dig? You're talking with God and you're singing with God and you're playing music to God and for God. That God opens up a hole. It's a hole in the mind. It's a hole in the soul. And then all the kids go back to all those programs that are set in those heads all start going crazy. After you go through all these different levels and you come out and you see God in you and God is all around you and God is everything and you are everything and everything is a part of you, and then you say this and you know this and you feel this and you have this in your soul and in yourself, you dig? And it just scares the shit out of everybody, and everybody gets to running and they get to hating you and they think you're bad and then they want to kill you because they feel if they kill you then they don't have to think about this anymore because they don't want to face this level of reality. They don't want to see that everything that they know is just crumbling before them and they have no thoughts in their minds. Their minds weren't really their minds anyway. It was just a reflection of somebody else's mind. It was a reflection of somebody else's mind. If you wasn't in behind a mirror somewhere, there was going to be no life left in that perspective because it was all going just totally fucking insane.
Who's destroying the earth and why?
The things that we do as human beings that are accepted and called right 100 years ago have changed. Years ago we could cut down trees and we could afford an exuberant lifestyle. We can't afford that no more. We're running out of atmosphere. we're running out of water. Our water's becoming so poisonous, so polluted, we're not going to be able to drink it. The trees are being cut down so fast. Lumber companies are just... The United States is owned by foreign corporations. Nixon opened it up for foreign trade. And when Nixon opened up for foreign trade, the people of Europe and the common market and Spain and different places, they don't care about the United States forest. And in short, the United States has been sold out by people who really don't care for anything but money. I've had all the money in the world 3 times. I had to give it back to keep the game going.
What game?
The game. It's a game. Money is a game. It's only real to the people who work for it. The people that don't need to work for money, it's a monopoly game. It's a game of paper. It's all on paper. I've got a production company, and I've got a recording company, and I've got a mansion in Beverly Hills, and I've got Rolls Royces and Ferraris. I've got everything money can buy, but it's all on paper. Everything's done through the companies and through the tax loopholes, and the people that live on that level, they don't care about the average honest mule that just goes back and forth to work. They don't care about the children that are in the streets that are thrown out of this upper echelon of existence. And then when all the children fall down into me, on my level, I pretty much identify with them because I was a throwaway also. So it goes to the point of, do you really care?
When you said...
And who does care? And if anybody cares, they're considered crazy. Up here. My body is stuck here, but my thought is already gone.
When you told me you ran an underworld, is that a joke?
No. No, why would it be a joke?
It's not a joke.
No, when your word is good, it's good.
What do you mean by that?
When your word is good, it's good.
What do you mean by that you run an underworld? What do you mean by that?
A little kid came to me a long time ago in McNeil Island, and he said, would you teach me how to speak English? I said, no, I won't teach you how to speak English. You're too stupid. He said, I'm not stupid. I said, come on, let's go play some handball. So I taught him how to play handball, and I taught him how to speak English, and I taught him how to tell the truth.
Not my fault because you don't understand me. I don't understand you either. But I don't spend my whole life trying to put the blame over on you because my cigarette didn't light or because something didn't work right. What do you want to call me a murderer for? I've never killed anyone. I don't need to kill anyone. I think it. I have it here. I don't need to live in this physical realm. I walk around in the physical realm, and I put on the faces, and I talk, and I play, and hang, and it's this big act, man. In the spiritual world is where I live. I exist in places you never even dreamed of. You talk about, you know, this little physical realm you live in, guilty, and is he in sin? How's your courts guilty? How many people do you think you've hung on the ventilators in the nut wards and forced medication on them? You see what I'm saying? You don't have any idea what the hell's going on. If you knew what the hell was going on in your own system, then you'd say, now I see what's creating this. Society's creating it. Society's saying, we want these Rambos. We want these killers. Oh, wow, man. Look at that dude there. And you got little kids looking in the book and where they sell it in the, oh, yeah, Sears and Roebuck. Rambo from 12 to 15. Kai Karate from age 5 to 17. And you got all your kids out here doing these crazy things. Now you want to come and say, Charlie Manson's the father of our country. We're convicting you for being Jesus Christ. We're convicting you for being the devil. We're convicting you for being responsible for our actions. I'm not responsible for anyone's actions but my own actions. They like my music. They say, man, we want to get you over. I said, get me over for what? They said, we take you down here to Beverly Hills and we want to get you in because you're a star. I said, I'm a what? They said, you're a star. So they took me to the Beach Boys, and I went and I got on the surfboard and I rode around and I looked and I said, gee, Huela Chingazos, this is more trouble than what I just got out of. You got 9, look at yourself. You got to wear that, whether you like it or not. You got to do things. You got to get up and go through all kinds of changes, whether you want to or not doesn't matter. Your whole life is put in your paycheck. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to do something I don't want to do.